Hundreds of thousands of people showed up in the nation's capital Saturday for the Women's March on Washington.
We are done waiting. We are the ones we have been waiting for. Let's get to work.
A record number of women and minorities won in closely watched races across the country.
More than 150 women and girls confronted Nassar before his sentencing.
This is what it looks like when institutions create a culture where a predator can flourish unafraid and unabated.
A judge just sentenced former USA women's gymnastics doctor Larry Nassar.
It looks like a courtroom full of survivors who carry deep wounds. Women and girls who have banded together to fight for themselves because no one else would do it.
We are here on this stage to present an image for the world to see. A portrait of survival.
Stand up and fight. An untold number of women posted Me Too and revealed their deeply intimate experiences of abuse. Their stories flooded social media and painted a picture of just how many people endure sexual abuse and harassment every day.
Rise up for the women of the world, for the women of the world, rise up!
What we represent by gathering and marching in the streets is a reminder. A living, breathing reminder that we are human beings, not hashtags.
Brooke Baldwin joins us now to discuss. Brooke, I think that piece really set up your book and the premise of your book very nicely.
So good.
Yeah, very well done. Go us, thanks. But really good to have you here.
Go
but
you.
say this. I didn't do the piece. Other people did. And I think it was very well done. But you say this: a gathering of women does not a huddle make. So what makes a huddle?
Yeah. A huddle is a place, it's every image we just saw in that beautifully produced piece. It's a place where women come together and are empowered by the mere fact of their coexistence. It can be productive, right? It can lead to change. It's a space where women lean on one another to thrive, to survive, get amazing things done. But it can also, Gayle, just be a quiet space where women come together and just bear witness for one another. It can be the women who you pray with, who you sweat with, the moms who you lean on, the co-workers who you share vital information to be able to rise through the ranks at work. That is a huddle.
A huddle. You know, you write about yourself growing up as a upper middle class white girl, your words, rarely huddled for anything that didn't involve sequins or tap shoes. I thought that painted the picture very well, a little bit about your upbringing.
Yeah.
So when did you realize, Brooke, that you needed a huddle and that other women can certainly benefit from a huddle?
Yes, I mean, certainly blessed, wonderful parents, great childhood, surrounded by lots of little girls in tap shoes and gymnastics and soccer and you name it. I was full of girl huddles. But then coming through, ultimately graduating from the University of North Carolina, jumping into journalism, fulfilling my dream of one day maybe being at, CNN. When you're from Atlanta, you drink Coca-Cola, you root for the Braves, and you want to work at CNN. And I have fulfilled that dream. But all the while, in my 20s and early 30s, it's been a very lonely climb, and I was huddle-less for over a decade. I had some singular, extraordinary girlfriends, but Gayle, I realized, honestly, after it was this two-day window. We talked about this the other night when you helped me launch my book, and it really got me thinking that the 2 days between being embedded in the Trump motorcade on Inauguration Day in January of 2017, and then the very next day back on the clock for CNN and covering the Women's March and being surrounded by 500,000 women, that was my aha moment of, A, something special is happening with collectives of women in this country. Like, look at these pictures.
Yeah, you said it was life-changing for you,
how
Brooke.
many women would show up.
You said
it was life-changing for me. It was because I realized that I wanted to be very intentional about dedicating this next chapter of my life to covering collectives of women, number one. And number two, Gayle, I stood there and I was like, okay, reporter hat off. Would I have had a huddle to share a tank of gas or to stand in those really long porta potty lines with? And the answer was no. And so I realized through the process of osmosis and the privilege I had of interviewing these various huddles of women for my book that A, I needed to activate a huddle, and B, I wanted to inspire other women to do the same.
Brooke, it's Anthony. You announced you're leaving CNN after 13 years. Was this part of what was behind that? And what's your next chapter?
First of all, I am such a fan of yours and have been watching you for many, many years. Such a fan, Anthony Mason.
You stop this now. Answer my question.
Be cool.
No, keep going, Brooke. Keep going.
Yes, CNN has been my home. CNN, the people at CNN, you all know, being at CBS and like you're surrounded by your family. I've been surrounded by my family for 13 years. It started when I basically put my name outside of a temporary office with a Post-it with my name scribbled on it until I created space for myself and they hired me and I became this anchor at 31. But it's time. I remember my dad saying to me once upon a time, Brooke, when you get somewhere and you're really comfortable, and I have been comfortable and privileged and had this, extraordinary platform, it's time to move on. And Anthony, I think to answer your question with regard to the book, yeah, how could I not? After spending 2 years of my life after this life-changing moment at the Women's March and at the Trump inauguration, and sharing space with these women between, meeting Ava DuVernay, Gayle King, the ladies behind Reese Witherspoon, Sarah Hardin at Hello Sunshine, to the women behind Moms Demand Action, Shannon Watts, Congresswoman Lucy McBath, to the women on Capitol Hill, and Megan Rapinoe. I could keep going on. They're all in my book. Stacey Abrams. I cannot hold space with them and not be the bravest version of myself possible. And in order to do that, Anthony Mason, I have to take what I've been referring to as this backflip off the high dive and leave CNN.
It's very scary, but it's exciting.
Yeah, I have a feeling when she says she doesn't know her next chapter. Number one, I don't believe you, Brooke Baldwin, so I can't wait to see what that is.
Okay.
But you also say this about huddling. A huddle can be small, it could be big. You may love your work, but work doesn't love you back. So it's good to have a huddle that you can count on at all times for all things. Really good to see you, Brooke Baldwin.
True.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, and thank you for being in my huddle, Gayle King, for all of these years and inspiring me. Sending love.
I like being in
you.
your huddle. Brooke Baldwin, we thank you. Huddle is on sale now wherever you like to buy your books. It is there.
All right.